Have you ever had a soulgasm? Hi, I'm Davida with YesTantra.com, and I want to share with you my experience the first time I had an orgasm so intense that I felt it down to the core of my soul. Now, before I learned about Tantra, I was quite adventurous in my sex life. I compare myself to being like Samantha from Sex and the City, and I was frequently giving my friends advice, and they would always tell me that I should write a book because I was always giving them amazing tips. And so I felt like I was experiencing sex better than about 90% of my friends and the people that I knew. Now, before I had my tantric experience, I wanted to learn Tantra about a decade prior. In fact, I had been at Barnes & Noble's and I saw a book on the store and I bought it, and it's called Tantra for Dummies. Well, I was kind of the dummy there because I ended up shelving the book because I thought, okay, I need to have a partner to learn this. So I didn't even open the book because I was just, I had that misconception that a lot of people have is, oh, I need to have a partner to do this. And you don't. Later, as I discovered about Tantra and then finally returned to that book and I opened it, I saw there were all these tips and techniques for solo play and practices. And I was like, I could have started this journey much sooner. About 10 years after I bought my book and had been sitting on my shelf, I actually met a partner that had studied Tantra and actually had dated a Tantra coach. So he had really embodied these techniques, and he was also able to have orgasms, multiple male orgasms, and he was able to separate his orgasm from his ejaculation. So that meant, we were able to have sex as long as we both desired to, which was so powerful because that allowed me to experience prolonged ecstatic states of bliss. And with him not having to worry about, premature ejaculation or, if he was going to lose his erection or any of those concerns, all he had to do was just sit back and relax, and he was so present with me because another thing Tantra teaches you is the art of presence through meditative practices, through breathing. So he really held this beautiful spaciousness for me, and it was just all about, me experiencing these amazing multiple orgasmic states. It's really different from, like, for example, you may think, well, if someone took Viagra, they would be able to have sex with you for a long time. But a lot of times in those situations, the person is having sex and it's more simulated like something we would see in a porn. And so that it's like really like a disconnection between the partners. And sometimes we can be more approaching sex from an egoic state, and we kind of get caught up in like the positions and this and that and the things that kind of feed our ego, but not really having that intimate connection with the person that's right there in front of us. He was just able to connect with me and honor my presence and just allow me to have these really amazing states of pleasure. I had my awakening through this experience. And it just blew my mind because we shared a period of intimacy and sex for a period of like 5 hours, and it seemed like it was just timeless. While I knew so many things had taken place in that window of time, it also almost felt as if, maybe 20 minutes had passed by. We were enjoying that moment, being so fully present in that moment together. So when I first experienced this, I initially I wasn't sure if it was just a fluke. He had not shared with me that he had studied Tantra and knew this, and I was just like, wow. So the next morning, he asked me would I return that same night. He says, will you come see me tonight? And I was just like, well, is that even a question? Of course I'm going to be here. So I returned, and we just had, again, another amazing experience with this tantric sex, and where I had, again, these elevated states of pleasure, and it actually helped the energy pass through my body, which I wasn't sure of, and which is something that I teach my clients. It's kind of a little hard to explain. You have this energy through your body that can raise through your arousal, can raise through your chakras and open up even to your third eye. So I actually had my awakening and my transformation through a tantric experience. That orgasm that I had was so profound that I refer to it as a soulgasm. Now this time when we finished, after the 5 hours, I just sat up in his bed and I just looked him in the eye and I just said to him, oh my goodness, I just want to clone you and give one of you to all of my friends, because I was not even sure where to even begin to explain to them what I had just experienced. I didn't even know. I'd given advice for so long. I was like, I don't even know what to tell them to make this possible for them. Also, the key is like having a male partner that actually has that skill set, and there's so few males that actually are able to do this. And that's mainly because males don't even know, they're not even aware that this is even a possibility for them. You know, that was just like me going down, like Alice in Wonderland, going down the rabbit hole. Because when I realized that I could experience this amazing pleasure in my body, and I hadn't taken any enhancement, I did not have alcohol in my system, I did not have any drugs in my system, and I experienced this profound pleasure, which really made me feel high. I was just like, wow, what else is my body capable of that I don't even know? Because at this point, I was a 44-year-old woman who was already multi-orgasmic, and I already thought that I was experiencing the best sex that I could possibly have. But the tantric experience just surpassed that by leaps and bounds. At the moment, I was already a registered nurse, and I'm always big in healing people and helping people, experience optimal health and just being a healer. And I realized that Tantra is also a healing modality, that pleasure is medicine. So I decided to, begin learning all I could about Tantra so that I could share this with other people. And I became a Tantra coach. I received my certification, and I've been dedicating myself to studying this and sharing the message of this to the world. My experience, it really changed the trajectory of my life. And when I started learning these Tantra tools and techniques, it enhanced my relationships with myself first. I attracted better partners, and I had better relationships with my friends, with my coworkers, with my family. Changed my life, just not in the bedroom, but outside the bedroom as well. So if you really want to learn more about Tantra and how it can impact and transform your life, I invite you to book a free 30-minute discovery call with me so we can find out where you are in your journey, and I can share with you the programs that I have that are designed for both singles and couples, males and females,